Hey guys, what is up? My name is Bob and Fishy, and welcome to a new Pokemon battle. So today, I'm going to be taking it into the middle of PICA Season 4. So you guys know my team. My team is the Philly Shuckles, but you might not know who's on it, because I haven't been uploading these. I've just been playing, I've just been kind of chilling, having fun playing in the league. But this battle was really, really good, so I figured I would, upload it. It was really good, mostly because it was with a really, really good opponent. I was up against Red Matt 80, aka the Washington Red Shells. But before I go into his team, I'm going to tell you about mine. So, my team, the Philly Shuckles, is composed of Mega Alakazam, Latias, Silvally, Arcanine, Vaporeon, Rotom Mow. You guys know I love my Rotom Mow. Comfey, who is my favorite new Pokemon, from 7th gen. He's right up there with, the gang, Goomy and stuff. And, of course, Shuckles head and shoulders above everybody else. But Goomy's, he's my second favorite. I'd actually say Comfey's probably my third favorite Pokemon right now, which I don't say lightly, but he's just cool. I just like him. Next up, we've got Scizor, who's just great. Snorlax, Malamar, and Steelix. So, basically, my team's pretty solid. Originally, I had a Raichu instead of Steelix, but I made that trade. And you'll actually see it came up for this game because I do end up bringing my Steelix. So, Matt's team. Mega Altaria, Celesteela, Blissey, Heliolisk, Crocodile, Blaziken, Gourgeist, Mew, Tentacruel, Regirock, and currently he has Dodrio, but at the time he actually had Excelgor. So, he had, very, very bulky team between, Mega Altaria, Celesteela, Blissey, Crocodile potentially, if it has Intimidate, it can do a bulkier set. Gourgeist, Mew, Tentacruel, Regirock, he's got such a bulky team. It's really going to be difficult to wear his team down. But it's kind of what we got to do. So let's go ahead and check out the team preview. Now I'll tell you about my team first, and then I'll tell you what I thought he would bring and what he did end up bringing. So I went with Steelix, Rotom Mow, Arcanine, Mega Alakazam, Silvally normal, and Steelix. I did have Steelix, but Scizor, that was the last guy. And then my opponent ended up bringing Mew, Celesteela, Excelgor, Blaziken, Crocodile, and Tentacruel. This was actually pretty much exactly what I thought he'd bring, except for, I didn't think he'd bring Excelgor. I thought he would bring Mega Altaria, because Mega Altaria is just so good. But I guess he knew that I had Comfey in the back. There's a lot of stuff. Scizor, Steelix. He probably thought that Scizor would be coming, so I don't know. I get it. It makes sense. Anyways, guys, let's talk about my team. So first off, my stalwart, my bring it to every game type of mon, Rotom Mow, Rotom Cut, whatever. I don't actually know which one's the official name. I use both. But anyways, this guy, he is going to be I think he's especially defensive with Specs and Specs Trick. And basically the idea there was just to hand off those Specs to any of the bulky mons on Matt's team, and then just kind of, do a specially defensive thing. I've got Volt Switch, Leaf Storm, Pain Split. Pretty standard. Obviously, just being able to, Pain Split up, just get that health back. But, Volt Switch is always handy. I figured if I could steal lefties, that'd be great. Rotom just going to be good in that regard. We've got Steelix. Steelix is my Stealth Rocker. He's actually the only Stealth Rock guy I have on my team. That was a major flaw in my draft when I first drafted. I didn't even think about Stealth Rocks. So, I did trade off Raichu for Steelix, who I think is very, very good. So he's got my rocks. He's got Dragon Tail. He's got Earthquake, and he's got Toxic, I think, right? Yeah, he's got Toxic. So I figured that'd just be a good, thing to have. Just a lot of different moves, and Dragon Tail especially. I figured I could phase him around. Because if you look at him, Matt always brings specially defensive Mew, and Celesteela can't do a lot to me, in theory, unless he's got I don't actually know if that gets any fire move. It might, but I don't know. But I figured Excelgor wasn't going to be doing a lot, and Tentacruel might switch in, but I didn't think he would. He outspeeds and hurts me with Scald. He might even kill me with Scald, but he doesn't want to switch in on fear of the Earthquake. And then Crocodile would have to make some plays, because I do have Rotom as a switch in for Earthquakes, so there's some plays there. So yeah, Steelix definitely has a lot of use in theory. Next up, we've got Arcanine, who is Intimidate. It's a physically offensive set, but with lefties and Morning Sun. And the reason for that, I wanted to be able to hit him hard. He's got a lot of mons that I really wanted to be able to hit. Specifically, the Blissey and the Celesteela were like two major ones that I wanted to just be able to like blast with super effective attacks. Arcanine actually functions really well against Matt's team, so I figured that would be good. I also have Wild Charge on here. And the reason for Wild Charge was just because I wanted to be able to, in theory, hit Tentacruel on the switch, because it's his best switch-in for Arcanine. So if I could just blast him, it can potentially do a lot of damage. So yeah, that was definitely a play that I was looking at and thinking like, oh man, I should make that. Next up, we've got Silvally. Silvally is normal. He's got a Darknium Z with Z Parting Shot. Now, this is actually going to be really interesting. Parting Shot is one of those moves that's really, really good usually. Like, just being able to lower your opponent's offenses. But then when you pair that with the Darknium Z, Z Parting Shot is basically, it does Parting Shot effect, plus it heals whatever switch-in you have. So basically, it functions a lot like a Healing Wish, but it also lowers their offenses, and your guy doesn't die. So it's in every way better. And it's nice because, like, again, regular Parting Shot is still really handy. So basically, Z Parting Shot is just in every way better than, it's just a great Z move because it's got utility both before, or as you're using your Z move and afterwards. Whereas a lot of Z moves, they're kind of cruddy normally. You look at like Z Splash or whatever that received a lot of attention. Even Z Celebrate to a lesser extent, like. Yeah, it gives you +1 to everything, but you can only use it once, and it's, your move slot. So basically, this is just a good option, in my opinion. He's got Flamethrower, he's got Tri-Attack, and he's got Toxic. Again, I wanted to have some Toxic, just in case, just to be able to wear down Blissey if it comes in or whatever. And then, last but not least, I've got Scizor with just Defog, Bullet Punch, U-Turn Roost, and... Oh yeah, Silvally, I think I said, he's physically defensive. And then Scizor he's got offenses, but like he's basically just a bulky mon that can defog. So that was my idea anyway. So my opponent, Matt, he ended up bringing, of course, Mew, who is of course specially defensive because it's Matt. He's got Celesteela, he's got Excelgor, he's got Blaziken, he's got Crocodile, and he's got Tentacruel. Tentacruel obviously is going to be, the rapid spinner of his team, and just probably Toxic Spikes. I can definitely see Toxic Spikes being a thing. And of course, Scald is always good. And potentially a poison move? I don't know. He might use that for Rotom, though. We don't actually find out. But Crocodile, it could be anything, but if it's Scarf, that could be an issue. If it's, even if it's like physically defensive, it'd be a great Arcanine switch-in. Although, he does have to watch out for the close combat. Blaziken, I was really worried it was going to be like an agility set or something. That would be really dangerous. Celesteela is just kind of, it's the same set. Even if it uses different moves, it's just this bulky thing that gets in the way, like no matter what. So that's pretty much what I'm up against. So we're going to go ahead and hop into the battle and see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and lead off with my Rotom. He's going to lead off with his Excelgor. So we both make a double switch here. He goes into his Crocodile, I'm assuming to eat the Volt Switch. I go into Steelix, which is not ideal, but I'm going to go ahead and just be ballsy this game. That's pretty much the MO for, especially early in the game here. I'm going to go Toxic as he goes Knockoff, predicting Rotom to come back in. Now I'm going to go back into Rotom for the EQ. So I've lost a little bit of HP on my Steelix, and he's knocked off my item, but other than that, like, I'm sitting pretty. I've got a Toxic Crook, so it can't do a lot to me. Now here, Switch Out is obvious. I'm going to go Volt Switch, and we just do some damage to that Mew, so that's nice. We can go into Scizor here, and I'm just going to go U-Turn. No reason to give up this initiative. Celesteela is the obvious switch, so we U-Turn, we can go straight into Arcanine, which is fantastic. Obviously, we want to keep that initiative for as long as possible. It won't last forever against Matt, I know that much. Anyway, in comes Tentacruel, I predict that, I go Wild Charge, I do almost half. If it had done a little bit more, I'd have stayed in, but he actually does show me that he's physically defensive with this. Anyway, Scald's coming, so I'm just going to go into Rotom, who is a fairly safe switch, and yeah, that's great. Unfortunately, I do get burned, so I'm not going to be, I'm going to kind of be on a timer, So here I'm going to go Trick. I figured Mew might come in, and it's shown me that it's a specially defensive Mew, obviously. So we go Trick, we hand that Crocodile some specs, and here I actually wasn't sure if he would stay in and just let me kill his Crocodile to get some initiative. So I just go Leaf Storm, which does nothing to Mew, obviously. But I didn't want to risk it. I didn't want to just, like, you know, go Volt Switch and have him stay in. And just go for, like, I don't know, knockoff or whatever. So here I go Volt Switch as he sets up rocks. And I do nothing, but that's okay. In comes Scizor and, Steelix. Ow, why do I always get their names confused? They have nothing to do with each other. I'm just going to get some rocks up. So he goes into Celesteela. And I'm not sure what this guy is going to try to do. I don't want to let him stay in and, like, automatize or whatever. I don't know, like, if it gets any good setup moves. So I'm just going to Dragon Tail. Yeah, in comes Mew. And we're just going to Dragon Tail again. He actually goes back into Celesteela, I guess predicting the Toxic or something. But Dragon Tail, and in comes, guess what? Mew. It's always Mew. So here I should have Toxicked. He is staying in this time. I figured if Celesteela came in again, another Dragon Tail, just giving it more chip damage. But whatever, Toxic would have been nice, but in comes this Excelgor, and he can't do anything to me. He has to U-turn out and go back into Mew, and guess what? Dragon Tail. So basically we're just chipping away at everything. Finally in comes Blaziken, and he's just gonna go High Jump Kick. I didn't want to switch out just in case, like, if I went into Arcanine, I think I would have still gotten 2-hit or whatever. So I didn't want to do that. So I can go into Alakazam here, and he pretty much has to sack something, because I'm just going to predict the Mew switch in and go Shadow Ball. Which is enough to 2-hit enough to, from this point, 2-hit this Mew. So that's nice. We have officially killed Mew. So yeah, we're sitting pretty at this point. So in comes his Excelgor again. Now he brought this in immediately in real time. So like I was like, what is up with that? I'm fast. I should be faster, and he's at like half health. There's no reason for him to bring this in unless he's Scarfed, and he is Scarfed. We find that out later. But I was like, this thing is Scarfed. It's bad. It's bad news. So Scizor is gonna come in to deal with that. I could have gone into Arcanine, but he did have this guy to U-turn into. At the very least, I can just do some stuff. So anyway, I'm just gonna go ahead and U-turn out, get to a little bit of chip damage, and be able to go into Rotom. And I'm just gonna go Leaf Storm. Obviously, Volt Switch would have been okay, but the reason I didn't go into Alakazam right there was, again, because I knew the Excelgor was Scarfed. It would have just come in. In this case, he has to go into this guy, and then I can just revenge kill that, or, kill something. So Alakazam's going to come in at this point, and that's why, like, he has to switch out. So he's just going to go ahead and sack off his Tentacruel. I don't have any hazards left, so Tentacruel's pretty much done. But yeah, so in comes this guy again, and I gotta switch out, so I'm just gonna go into Arcanine this time. The reason for that, he's obviously gonna U-turn. I didn't want him to go into Celesteela and potentially set up something. Again, I was really worried about that for whatever reason. So here I could have close combated, and it would have done a bit more. I don't think it would have killed. Maybe it would have. I don't think so. So he high jump kicks and takes out Arcanine. And now here I make a weird play, but again, it's so that Celesteela doesn't set anything up. I'm going to go into Scizor, and I'm not going to Bullet Punch and kill. I'm just going to go ahead and let him die to recoil off of Flare Blitz as I U-turn. I figured if Celesteela came in, I could U-turn out and go into Silvally. So here I can go into Silvally. I am physically defensive. I'm going to eat this U-turn. It does pretty much nothing, and I'm going to go Flamethrower. And Flamethrower is going to hit this Celesteela hard enough. It doesn't have leftovers, I noticed. So it's hard enough that he can't, like, sub up on me or anything, and I can actually 2-hit him. And there goes Celesteela, which means his last guy is his Scarfed Excelgor, who's obviously going to outspeed me and hit me with the Bug Buzz, but he gets a max damage roll. It does not kill. I survive with just enough for Silvally to finish him off with Flamethrower, and that's GG. And I have officially defeated Red Matt. I'm actually so psyched about that. I kind of get my butt kicked whenever I play him. So it was definitely nice to not get my butt kicked when I played him. I'm just going to throw that out there. But yeah, overall, I'm super duper happy with that game. Now, I'm not going to, like, promise that I am going to upload all my PICA games, because a lot of them I just don't play that well, and I don't want to, like, lock myself into, promising an upload even if I don't play well. So I'm just going to upload the ones where I'm happy with. But this one was definitely one that I was happy with. So, yeah. I don't know. If you enjoyed, feel free to check out my other p.i.c.a videos. Check out the p.i.c.a spreadsheet. It'll be in the description. Check out Matt's channel because he uploads stuff sometimes. And, yeah, that's going to be it. Hope you enjoyed, guys, and I will see you later. Bye.